Hey guys, welcome to another session of Epic 7. I'm going to be talking about Lady of the Scales, which is ML Muru. I'm sure there's going to be a pithy name for her. Um, Now, I'm going to a bit of context for the video itself and for my general viewers, but I used to do the initial thoughts videos back when I was really into PvP. I'm not going to be doing that, although I think some input on her skill set it would, it's gonna come naturally to me. Mostly I'm gonna talk about the art. I definitely think that she looks really good. I will say this, I want to make a video on ML Ross so it doesn't seem like I'm biased. I always is like the big titty waifu. Like Jagan makes a video only on big titty waifus or make art videos on it. I will say I think I saw her preview first in the E7WC, and I was asking people like, "Whoa, who is she?" And then people were saying, "Oh yeah, she's actually part of the Moonlight Theater." And I didn't notice her. I mean, to be fair, I haven't watched all of it. I haven't been, watching it for the mystics or anything, or the lore, of course. But apparently, she made an appearance. So it seemingly that she's going to be the boss because Ross is free. And Tenny wasn't the boss. So she's supposed to be, right? So I think the lore is like she was the witch behind the Briar Witch curse or something like that. I mean, even in this video, it probably gives you that background, so I might be totally wrong. But of course, the visuals here are super good, if you know what I mean. Now, there's a thing with gacha games. It's inescapable. It's like the more lewd the character is, the less likely they're gonna be a 4-star. So even when I saw the preview, I'm like, okay, if that is ML Mercedes, then she's gonna be a 5-star, right? And how does that system work? Because she's technically not Archdemon Shadow light version. At least I hope not. Even functionally speaking. I don't think so. There's no way. Even though I think the voice actress is the same and the English voice actress is terrible, at least for Archdemon Shadow. I'm pretty sure hers is the same. It does sound quite similar. But anyway, she seemingly is kind of broken. Even with my kind of washed up experience with Epic 7, realistically, it's like Guild War Arena. I still understand like metas, but like in World Arena wise, like I'm pretty sure what she has to offer is gonna be insanely broken anyway. But yeah, anyways, so I'm just gonna go through this video. I used to prepare slides for this, man, back in those days. And I actually like blurred out the watermarks, made sure like all the things looks nice and tidy. But I'm just gonna be scrolling through the video today. She seems to be a Soul Weaver, Taurus, and 117 base speeds. I think Taurus Soul Weaver is that like DJB? I might be wrong on that. If it's not DJB might be Aquarius or something. But that's a pretty good base speed for Soul Weaver. The health is not that great. The defense is really good though. But I think like all her stats is the ER and the speed. Self ER. Oh no, team ER, and I think self ER as well. They even mentioned that. Some of this art, of course, is going to make it into the art book, no doubt. I have to say, like the design of the character is very lewd or whatever, but I personally think that it's like low effort, right? Like if you think about low effort as in, you have a female character and you just remove all the clothing, like does that mean it's a good design, right? Generally, no. Like from an artistic perspective, but from a, you want to see big butts, thighs, and boobs, yes, that's a good design. But from an artistic effort perspective, it's not that much effort, right? And the other thing is obviously the blindfold with her short hair and the white hair. Like the first thing you think about is really 2B. I think 2B's really dominated that look. So I'm like, unless it's a lore thing, I guess she's blind. Maybe she's blind. Her eyes are white. Otherwise, the covering of the eyes itself, I don't know. It felt like kind of like a ripoff. But if you do want to compare it to 2B, I think that image, that preview on the left, is very 2B like. Like I could totally imagine, like if you cut off the braided ponytail that droops over her what is that, right shoulder, I think you could arguably say that looks like 2B, and that could be like a 2B skin, right? So maybe near Automata collab confirmed. Let's just keep going here. I think right here is still the AI voice taking us through. Yeah, so I think her floating, that walking animation is a floating animation. I think that is the same as, it's not the exact same as Arshima Shadow. Arshima Shadow doesn't cross her arms. But Arshima Shadow does float as well. So I wouldn't say that's a reused sprite, but probably highly influenced. I mean, the very fact that you don't need to, yeah, self effect resistor there, 27%. If she is a boss character, we'd probably be able to get her like items in the shop. What do you call it? Those using gold transmit stones to get their imprint recipe or whatever. That item. So yeah, so skill 2 is a passive. At the start of battle, grants offering to the foremost ally. When the ally granted offering dies, recovers health of all allies by 50%. That's already really crazy. So that's her passive offering that, but the offering unique effect, as you can see on the bottom right, grants 70% damage sharing from the damage received by all allies. Upon receiving lethal damage, grants immortality for 1 turn. Immortality can only be activated once per battle. So her S2 twofold, that in and of itself is like kind of OP. One is that after the after the immortality goes away, whether dispelled then hit or the immortality turn like fades away and the frontliner dies, when they die, they give 50% heal to all allies. See here, Grand Omniman dies, recovers health of all allies by 50%. So yeah, it's a 50% of that, the health of the actual party members. So that's actually pretty crazy. If you pair her with really bulky characters, that's like an extra full turn, right? Depending on who you're fighting and what you're fighting, that feels like a lot of sustain. Like think about any healing that any Soul Weaver does, outside of like a Ruel where it's full heal, like 50% is a ton. I think like a Shamadra staff on someone would increase that as well. So that's that's a lot of healing, right? So anyway, so let's see. So the 70% damage sharing is also crazy, right? I think this is the most damage sharing we'll see. And then the fact that the one with offering, the foremost ally, will have immortality. It's just gonna, like, you're just not gonna AoE anything else. Like it's just gonna be so hard to kill. Especially thinking about you could have other damage mitigating effects. Not the damage sharing effects, but damage mitigation effects. So like what do you call it? A Crown of Glory would have like some like AoE damage reduction. Of course, like Adamant Shield if it's crit based, and individuals who have Proof of Valor and stuff like that. So that's actually a lot of damage mitigation, the most we've seen. So that's gonna be interesting. And then second part of it, when combat readiness of an enemy increases during battle. So like this is the second part of her passive. This is a very packed passive. When combat readiness of an enemy increases during the battle, increases combat readiness of the caster, so herself, by up to, what is that, 50%? Hold on, 2, 5, 10, 15, 50. Yeah, so 50%. So total of 50%. Of the amount of the combat readiness increased. So let me read this again. Increase combat readiness of the caster by 50% of the amount of combat readiness increased. Okay, so right, so if someone has a 20% CR boost, she herself increases 10%. Right, so when combat readiness of an enemy increases during battle, this effect will not be applied to combat readiness increase effect triggered by the same skill. This effect will not be applied by the combat readiness of increase effect triggered by the same skill. Okay, so I guess when you're versing her, it won't work. But it seems like this is the combat readiness increase part is infinite in terms of it's not like per turn. So she's realistically kind of like a Sage Ball. At least, yeah, I mean, does he still work that way? At least the old Sage Ball for sure. Like it works that way in terms of like if they, it's not that if they have a turn, but if they use combat readiness, she has 50% of that, which can scale up quite a lot, depending on her speed, of course. Now I'm thinking, how does this work for Zio? Because Zio starts with 50% CR boost at the beginning of anyone's turn, right? But she would only have 50% of that. So she still couldn't cut Zio, right? But I'm thinking in stack order. I'd have to see it. I'd have to see it to understand it fully. But I don't think she can never cut Zio, because it would be only 50% of his CR boost. It would be 25% of what she is. But that's potentially enough to cut like her SETI. So I'm just imagining, I'm putting this in my head, right? I'd have to probably run the math, but I don't have the game, I don't have the thing open in front of me, but I'm just kind of theory crafting on the spot. But if you had Zio and then you had her, but actually no, that doesn't work because it has to be the enemy's increase. Okay, so it can't be your own, so never mind. What I was thinking of was if you had Zio and you were going into her SETI, would you be able to cut to her SETI? I think technically yes. Her SETI would always be 10% behind him, right? Oh, freaking math. Okay, anyways, a lot of effects here. But I mean, even without the combat readiness increase, which in my opinion is already broken, so you have that innate combat readiness increase, basically you're just gonna be like a small pusher, like a counter pusher, in terms of pushing to get the turn. And then the damage sharing effect, like those two combined is already insanely broken. I forgot what her S3 does. Let me see. So talks about this. I'll skip down. Right, so even in this display here, what we saw was the she got combat readiness increase when ML Peyra S3'd, and then S1 into Crow. Obviously that's for, actually no, it wasn't even into Crow, was it? It was into Muru. Yeah, it was into Muru. So it actually, so we got a showcase of both the damage reduction, of course that's a lot, and then because she Flan increased combat readiness on that S1 after a dual attack. So she gained more combat readiness. Right? Everybody gained combat readiness here. And then S3. Hold on, let me see here. The Caress of Mercy. Oh boy. I mean, oh, that name. Yeah, I mean, I could go into that, but I don't think I'm gonna do that. With the Goddess Authority, dispel all debuffs from all allies and it increases combat readiness by up to 20%. Right? We have 25%? No way. 25%. That's a huge CR boost. With how much she can cut in front of the potential follow-up of whoever did the CR boost on the enemy side. 25%, you can almost guarantee that turn. And then what can, and also dispels all the debuffs too. So that's very, very nice. So you probably want to take advantage of the ER, her self-imprint ER. For sure. There's nothing that can prevent that. You probably want some kind of ER artifact. I don't know if Soul Constellation would be needed for her, to be honest, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot of Soul Weaver tech that you could use with her. Guardian Ice Crystals would be like a very nice to have, but it might not even be necessary. Like I suppose people want to kill her ASAP, so having any type of self-healing artifact would be good. I think Shamadra Staff would be good too. Shamadra Staff already gives you ER as well. So I think, yeah, I don't know if you need Soul Constellation because you probably don't need that much CR boost. But we'll see. I mean, people will probably put like a Euphine on their defense, assuming you're gonna bring in Lady of the Scales. So try to cut down on your CR boost, but yeah, 25% S3 is crazy. And the dispel first, and then you can't increase combat readiness. So and it's all debuffs. So even restrict can't restrict that CR boost. Consume 20% of the current health of the ally granted offering, granting abundance to all allies for 2 turns. Okay, so yeah, that's broken, man. Abundance after attacking inflicts 2,000 additional damage on the target. How much does Sharoon do? Sharoon's is like 4,000, right? ML, the dragon Sharoon. So hers is like 4,000 damage, but of course she can only get that buff for everyone if anyone is asleep or stunned. Does fear count? I think fear counts. I think she dispels fear as well. Sharoon does. But then the buff that she does, I forgot what it's called. I'm launching the E7 game right now, so I can have this live theorycraft. I think their buffs are unbuffable. In terms of if they have unbuffable, they won't get that free buff from Dragon King Sharoon. So yeah, any debuff which prevents movement. And I'm pretty sure fear works because I remember taking Rinak Sharoon into like a Mort team, and after I got another turn Mort did the S3. It didn't kill me for whatever reason. I didn't have an Illinab or anything like that. And then she did the Cascade thing again. So yeah, grabs Cascade and it inflicts 4,000 damage as opposed to this is 2,000 additional damage, which is pretty good. I mean, if you think about it, this is from a Soul Weaver. Yes, Sharoon is also from a Soul Weaver, but I feel like Lady of the Scales is more of a traditional Soul Weaver. One, she's healing. She's not debuffing. Generally, you don't get like a debuff for Soul Weaver plus a healing Soul Weaver. It's like one or the other. It's like you're a debuffer, crowd control, or you are like a healer dispeller. Like it's so far I haven't seen, at least I don't think so, I haven't seen Epic 7 kind of cross the two tropes, the archetypes. So this is packed. The 2,000 additional damage is very good. It's not 4,000. It's not Dragon King Sharoon for sure, but in essence, that's already pretty good. And also this abundance unique effect means that it can't be dispelled for one, just like Dragon King Sharoon's. But I think in her case, I mean, it wouldn't really matter if it was the same type of buff as Dragon King Sharoon, because she would dispel all the debuffs. So even if it had unbuffable, it wouldn't work. So there's no point changing it, I guess. But this type of buff is generally, oh, I see, because it's not a one turn. Okay. Because this is granting to all for 2 turns. Yeah, so for 2 okay, that's still pretty good. That means 4,000 total, extra damage guaranteed, but it is spread throughout. Now, assuming that no one can take out the frontliner in time, that 70%, that offering will still be on it. So your high likelihood that you can lap and actually use both 2,000 additional damage. So you'll get all 4,000 damage out. It's just not going to be as quick as like Dragon King Sharoon. Yeah, it's just insanely packed, man. Just the S2, S3 alone. The S1, I kind of know about it. It's fear. And that, I mean, some people I think might think, oh, you know what? I just BS myself. Because she can do debuffs. I just said that they haven't crossed that trope. Hold on, let me open up my game still and then double check. No, no, never mind, never mind. My bad, my bad. It's definitely not. I'll right off the top of the head already, because like DJB can stun on S1. No, so that's not the case. No, that what I said was not true was never true. Soul Weavers can definitely debuff, but usually on the S1. Attack down, speed downs, stuns, sleep from Bunny Dom. See what else Soul Weavers do we have here? Yeah, I just haven't seen. Yeah, even Aram can stun, right, on S1. Yeah, I was thinking of all these blue ones are all like CR boosts. It's kind of funny actually. Green Sharoon can do it, although Green Sharoon doesn't dispel. Okay, yeah, so yeah, she's very packed. I mean, so she has fear, and the fear right now, fear bypasses everyone who has the like ignore, sleep, and stun. So like a Dark Corvus. I mean, you might be laughing. It's like, whoa, Dragon, you're using Dark Corvus? Yes, I am. I'm using Aram into Dark Corvus. It's really satisfying, man. It's really satisfying. But what was I saying? Yeah, so fear is a very RNG type of debuff, of course. Like I've had it where like my fear would shake off on turn 1. Of course, it's really good. As you can see, there's a 40% chance. We're all familiar with more, so there's no point for me to talk about it. But I think the important thing is that it's a 75% chance to inflict a fear for 1 turn. But if you soul burn it, changes to 100, and it does it for all enemies. So it's an AoE. I think it has to attack, so it's not a soft skill. It actually does touch. Now, I don't think anyone can bypass the fear, right? I think specifically heroes that say that they are immune to debuffs or effects that prevent their turn. I think those ones are immune to it. So Mort himself would be immune to it. But I think like Dark Corvus, and I'm just double checking here. Oh, Dark Corvus is actually only immune to stun. He's not even asleep and stun. Okay. And then like even though Angel of Light is not really yeah, Angel of Light was also just stun. Yeah, so Dragon King Sharoon will be able to shake this off as well. Mort would be immune. I think there's a couple people that might be immune. But yeah, it's in my opinion, it's still good. It's still really good. So I see her role as in like obviously the granting the really good heals. It's like a really good backup Soul Weaver. And having that Aureus, that 70% Aureus, that's super hard to kill. Yeah, you know, Tori is a really good example in this fight. Really hard to kill those like heroes that have the damage limit. Cause it's that's actually really crazy. And then you have, well, especially with a barrier, right? Because if you do enough damage and their HP is too low, still you can still hit the damage limit, I'm assuming. But you have to do a lot of calculations for 70%. That's a ton, and then you have other mitigation factors. But I was saying that I think her S1 being able to AOE that can prevent movement is actually pretty insane, because you have to think about it this way, right? Think about everything that she packs and say that's not fear. Say it's stun, and it's also 75% chance, but if you soul burn, it's 100% stun. Like that already sounds insane, right? So I almost feel like giving her fear is a mercy, because you can technically shake off fear, and it's only a 1-turn fear, unlike Mort's S3, which is a 2-turn fear. So it's like it's a bit RNG, but the very fact that she can apply it 100%, although ER is still going to be a factor there, or resistance rather, the ER RNG, still going to be a factor, but the fact that she can AoE it on command when she has that 10 souls means that she'd be one of the best debuff S1s out of all the Soul Weavers, right? But again, 40% chance for them to shake it off. But if they don't, that kind of crowd control is really good, especially if they have a lot of tempo, right? For your, you know, on the right side, I think really they're just kind of showing a somewhat, I'm putting this in air quotes, somewhat slow team. Like Tori might be a bit fast, but compared to the team on the right side, and I think that's the crux of their showcase really, the team on the right side is technically things will start moving really fast because you have the flan, and you have the what do you call it? You have a bit more tempo than the one on the left, and so I think the whole point is that fear, if you get that one turn in, that's enough for your slower tempo, for the tempo, high bulk characters to kind of weigh in and actually finish the fight. So that's going to be very interesting. I don't think she's going to be able to make it into the E7WC, even when we get to the last bit. But if she does, that would be a very interesting, like, couple of matches. I don't recall if in past E7WC is the boss or these MLs. I think so, right? She comes out next week, I think, or even the week after, and we still have like a month left for E7WC. So maybe she'll get to make it on like the final fight. But that would be interesting. Either way, I definitely have to pull for her. I think if you missed Tenny, I think you lucked out. I feel like she's more usable than Tenny in more areas. The ML Tenny, the light Tenny. So if you actually have Mystics, I think you got lucky. And I hope you get her like early, because I think she's gonna be very, very broken. I just think she's gonna change PvP dynamic a ton. Defense, and for people who want to play very, very safe offense, like Guild War and stuff, she's going to be like one of your top two, if not your top two, like kind of carries. So anyways, that's my thought for that. I'll end this here. Anyways, if you guys are watching this and you guys like enjoy this kind of breakdown video, while not super informative, but just like to hear my thoughts, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll probably think about making the Ross one. He's free, so everybody gets him, but I still think he's pretty cool. But yeah, anyways, let me know. Thank you guys for watching. If you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing, and otherwise join the Discord so we could chat. Talk to you guys next time.